All right, I'm live. I'm here live with those of you guys who are here or not here yet. So, I tried to start my live on another software and probably you didn't get notifications for that, so we'll start again this conversation. So let's see. Yes, we have already one person here. Okay, perfect. So how it works, I'm gonna talk about different topics, about YNL method, about the KEECE framework, where it came from and what its function, a little bit about myself, and of course I'll talk a little bit about the upcoming live streams and workshops that are going to happen. And if you want to ask a question, you are free to ask the question and I'll try to address that question while we are conversing about what we want to be conversing about today. And I believe that this will be available for you to watch also later. I'll probably keep it in YouTube if it's gonna be good. I believe it will. And we're gonna start. So first of all, let's start with the question, what is the KEECE framework? I use this a lot. Those of you who know me might already be familiar with that, but some of you, it can be a new term for you guys. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself first, and then we'll go into the KEECE frameworks. First of all, I'm Tricky. My name is Kostya, but you can call me Tricky. I'm a dancer, a break dancer, and all-style dancer. I'm a mentor and coaching different types of creators all over the world, and an author of a book that is called Daily Intentions that I have here behind me. You might see this. And I am interested in the topic of transformation. So I'm studying all the available structures, all of the available systems and instruments that are concerning the idea of transformation. And in my search for the most powerful tools for transformation, I was doing a lot of deep contemplation with my own self. And this type of contemplation led me to this KEECE framework. So what is KEECE? KEECE consists of 5 words. It's knowledge, evolution, entropy, creativity, and expression, specifically self-expression. Now, why do I start with knowledge? Because in order to even get to some information and to even get to the important questions, we need to understand, we need to know. How can we ask questions? How can we get answers without the fact that we need to know? Yes, so everything happens in knowledge. That's why the first letter is K. And when I think about knowledge, I think about the most important questions, one of which is, what is life? Which is like the main question that we can ask ourselves. And also, what is the function of humans in life? We ask these questions as meta questions for understanding the process of transformation, because transformation is when we have something that transforms, basically that changes over time and becomes better, evolves. But what is this something, right? So if we look at the world, we have the whole of the world, basically the universe, and it consists of many fragments, many parts, right? And these parts are interconnecting with each other as one unified systems, and they interconnect in different ways. And each system contains smaller systems inside of it. So it's like a giant holographic thing, and we perceive it. Basically, we are conscious and aware of it. So we are sort of the observer of this giant happening, right? And at the same time, we are also one fragment of reality, of life, right? So we as fragments of reality are trying to understand what we are and also to understand the environment that we are part of. So that's the first thing, how we do it. How do we get to understanding of our own selves, right? So we can observe, right? We can observe internally, we can observe ourselves, our emotions, our feelings, our kinesthetics, how our body feels. We can look at the mirror. We created a whole set of symbols to understand ourselves. We can create distinctions, we can observe. Basically, the idea here is to observe ourselves and to get to a certain process that creates insights about the deeper nature of ourselves. And the basic thing is what I already said before, that as a whole of reality, we are part of reality that connects and have a specific type of connection with reality. So we can be a physical thing that is happening on this planet, but also we are changing our realities. Okay, so we build houses, we create whole countries, right? So we have a certain type of connection and effect on the bigger system, which is the universe, right? And now the question is, what is this function of the human, of this specific part? Why? Because we are interested in transforming ourselves. So we need to understand what are the function of the human. And again, imagine you are new in this world and you don't know the answer to that question. What will you do? How will you get to the answer? You will first start looking and observing what is around you, because you don't understand yet yourself, so you understand what is around you. So you look at things and you might notice different type of inner processes that are happening. And we look at what we have, the bubble of reality, we call it nature, right? So if we observe nature, we start seeing that there is a process of constant change. Different fragments sometimes connect with other fragments, sometimes they eat other fragments, and sometimes they change. So basically, these forms change all the time. So there is a constant change, and this change happens in a way of evolution. Basically, it becomes more and more complex, and the parts of reality that are not evolving are usually decaying or dying. They stop existing in this whole system of reality. And this already shows us that if we are part of the whole, we are part of the system, it means that we also have the choice to evolve or decay, right? Because we will get competition with other parts of the world, and it will be on many, many levels. We have our system, our body, this bio machine is decaying with time, so we need to outrun this tendency of the body. So we need to do something to not die, basically. And that's the key function that we have, to evolve, change ourselves and the environment around us, and outrun these forces of entropy, of decay. Yes, so let's go back. We need to know what we are in order to understand what we need to do. And when we understand that we have this choice in life to evolve or to decay, basically to go into entropy or evolution, we can now step to the next part, which is creativity. And again, we go back to nature. Why? Because if we look closely to everything that there is in nature, every fragment, it's there is some sort of creation behind it. So whether if you are religious or not, some religious people will say that of course there is a creator, and you might be an agnostic or atheist, but look just at the things around you. Maybe you are in a room, you can look at the room, you can look at the book in your room, on the couch that you sit, or maybe you drive a car. And all of these things were created by someone before. And if we look just in nature, okay, you might say, okay, that's human-made things. But if you look at nature, Trees create fruits, right? Animals create new animals, right? They breed with each other, and there is fungi that's eating and creating new life forms. So this creation and creativity is happening on all levels of the system. So it's again a part of the structure, which means that if we look back at ourselves, we mirror it to ourselves. It also means that we are creators. We have this creative potential in us, and we can use it or not. Again, we go back to choice. You can choose to create, or you can choose to do nothing with this potential. But why would you choose not to create? And let's go further with it. You create whether you want it or not. But the question is, are you creating something good? Something that is making the system evolve? Are you an agent of evolution, of creativity? Or are you creating drama? Are you creating entropy and decay in your life? Are you creating problems to yourself and others? But you are a creator. And here we go to the concepts of being a conscious creator or unconscious creator. A conscious creator knows about his or her potential and uses it to grow, to evolve, to make something, to change the world, the system to a better place. This is creativity. Creativity is about having an image in your mind, an intuition, then using skill, using understanding the knowledge that we talked before into creating something new that the world didn't see before. Or sometimes maybe something that we saw but still benefits the whole system. It's about benevolence, right? And then we have the unconscious creator who also creates. Why? Because it's just our nature. We are creators, but you can create good stuff and you create shit. You can create shit, right? So you can be conscious creator or unconscious creator. And I'm all about being the highest level conscious creator. Which brings us to the last letter of this framework, which is expression, and specifically self-expression, because everything is expression of something more deep, right? If we look at physics, we don't see the world as it is. We see it as an expression. We see colors, but colors don't exist in nature, right? We have some sort of reaction in our own brain that makes us see colors. So we see expressions. And now let's go to our own self. We have something in us that wants to get expressed. So for example, I am a dancer. Maybe if you follow what I'm talking about, you are an artist. You have some sort of artistic, expressive potential in you, right? And this artistic potential is getting expressed. So for example, right now, what I'm doing is I am expressing something. I'm expressing my thoughts. When I wear this shirt, I'm expressing my sense of style or art. My voice is getting projected. It's all expression, and I can express myself in a good way or in a not a cool way, right? In a skillful way or not skillful way. And here we go to the concept of the conscious player. A conscious player is loose. He's connected to that source of creativity and of self-expression, and he's easily just expressing it, okay? What makes you a conscious player? A lack of inner limitations in yourself. So if you are limited, if you have some sort of problem or block on one of your neurological levels, maybe in your emotions, maybe in your thoughts and inner dialogue, maybe in your body and the way you are moving and everything, this creates a block on your ability to self-express. And being a conscious player is about getting rid of all those blocks, getting connected to that inner child of yours, right? And let it go. Just express it. And what we try to do in YNL is to connect your inner conscious creator with your inner conscious player. This is the next level, right? So, and this is my job. Okay, so as a mentor, as a coach, I work with my clients. I try to recognize through the process of getting to their goals and their desires, understand where they have some sort of limitation, maybe, and break the limitation and let them express themselves, and also help them with their creativity. Basically, help them to evolve through this ladder of steps by steps to the highest way to become a conscious creator. And I worked in my life with dancers, I worked with other artists and creators, and usually there is some sort of goal and there is some sort of limitation, and we work on getting through this goal to the higher goals, because again, this framework that we talked about, this KEECE framework, is basically the function of a human being. If you don't follow this KEECE framework, something will be missing, right? Because it's part of nature. Okay, that's the design. The design is that you, as a kid, for example, always ask questions. Why? Because you want to know. You want to ground yourself in knowing. You want to understand what you are. And at some point, maybe your parents or other authority figures or the school is filling your mind, your curious mind, with a lot of facts about who you are. And then this curiosity dies down and you get locked into some sort of worldview, which probably will limit you and will limit you on your ways to create and self-express. Why? Because most society is brainwashed, okay? That's just the case. Most society is getting brainwashed from all directions. Religion brainwashes people, business brainwashes, schools brainwash people, and parents and countries and leaders. It's all a massive brainwashing system, right? And it's very hard to get to the core and truth of things. That's why knowledge is number one, because you need to always ask yourself, how do I know anything? And how do I know that this is true? Or how do I know that the other thing is true? All right, because that's the basics of it all. If you have false knowledge about what is happening to you, what is your core function, why you are here, how can you even evolve? How can you transform? You will use your capacities, your energy, and your skills in order to create something that is not good for the world. Why? Because you don't even know yourself. So you need to understand, you need to know who you are. And how you do that? Okay, let's talk a little bit about the techniques of how you get to know yourself better. And one way would be what we do now, asking questions, contemplation. Why? Because what is asking questions? When we ask questions, we create some sort of opening in our mind, some opening in our consciousness, and now we want to feel it. And usually, how do we feel this opening? So if I ask you the question, what is the function of a human being, which is the question that we started this live stream from, you probably have different types of answers, and where these answers came from, you can dig and find it. But usually the function of a human being, if you look from the biological lens, is to just survive and reproduce. If you look from, let's say, a business lens, right? Okay, you look from a business lens, it's about creating a powerful business that will outgrow you. You can pass it to your children and you can change the world through your business. And if you look from a philosophical standpoint, you might go into Buddhism, you can go to Hinduism, or you can even do the better thing, which is to ask yourself and find the truth from yourself, and you can get to a place that there are higher things that you are capable of and that you can know about yourself. For example, you can ask yourself, is your body even the real you? Because if you observe your body, if you observe your thoughts, if you observe a happening, then maybe you are the observer of what is happening to you. And here we go into, for example, spiritual territory. But then you can ask yourself, is spiritual territory is something important or truthful? It might be not so pragmatic. Maybe pragmatism is the right philosophy. Or maybe if you are a religious person, you can ask yourself, okay, is my religion right? Is what this person is saying to me is right? Is what my parents told me is right? How do I know? This not knowing is the main driver of this desire to truly know what is happening. And this is basic. Okay, if you don't have this burning desire to know, to really get to the truth of who you are and what you're here to do, then you might be lucky and some wise person will tell you something that has truth in it. But in many cases you will get deceived. So first is asking questions. Now the second is to know who you are, not through your mind. And you might ask yourself, how can I know something not through my mind? And here we go into the territory of meditation. Okay, what is meditation in its core, in its essence? Is just going with your consciousness beyond your thinking mind. Here in your head, there are constant thought loops. Sometimes it's something constructive for you, like for example, this conversation is a connection of symbols that might be constructive for you to understanding yourself, but sometimes it's destructive. Like for example, if you have some sort of trauma and you keep running it in your brain and you keep looping on the same thoughts or on same images, you are trapped in a sort of simulation that creates a lot of fear, anxiety, or anger in you. And then you are not even in reality. And how can you even know what reality is if you are not even existing and present in reality? So meditation brings you back to this present moment, because our inquiry about what is true starts from the present moment, right? So get to meditation. And meditation, it's a pretty simple task. Of course, at the same time, it's very hard because our mind is always looping. But it's just about feeling this moment. Yes, you can feel it through different type of channels that you have in your body. The audio channel, listening to words. The visual channel, watching what is happening around you. The kinesthetic channel, feeling your body, the temperature, the room, and trying to combine it all together. And at the same time, becoming aware of what is happening here. Your inner dialogue, your thoughts, the symbolic system that is something that is important for you as a human, but it also can be a curse. So by meditating and by asking questions, you start to get more into a space, a meta space of curiosity and of getting to know something from scratch. Okay, and we will talk in next live streams more and more about this idea of how to get more into this knowing, how to know more and truly know, and what is the difference between truly know or think that you know, right? Where is the signal in things? Or when you listen to someone, you might even develop this sort of ability to distinguish between the signal and the noise in what he's saying. But all of this is a long process that you start to go through when you go into this project of knowledge. Now, evolution. You need to get to a point in your life where you understand that you better start moving, that life is about evolution, that if you are not moving, you are dying, you are decaying. And there is no way to run from this. There is never staying in one place. You will always go up or down. And sometimes you can spiral down for a moment, but if you are in a mindset of constant evolution and everything that you are doing from a place of evolution, you will be good. You will for sure get to your next level. 100%. Why? Because most people don't do that. Most people are just coasting by. They don't have this wisdom. It's pretty simple. Be wise and realize you are here to evolve. Right? We don't even go into the idea of souls. We don't even go into the idea that you are a soul that goes through hundreds and thousands of lifetimes and evolves, and there is a whole story behind that. We don't even go there. Just simply look at yourself. You are growing and you are aging, and the more you grow and the more you age, if you don't work on yourself, your body starts breaking, your mind getting stuck. There is no more plasticity to your mind. You get to the same thoughts. Did you ever notice that older people are usually very hard to change? They think the same way and you cannot even open their mind. Why? Because their mind loses the plasticity. Because what? They don't have this simple but important belief, assumption that life is about evolution. And that's it. Then from there, when you have it, the road might be hard, but you will always find your way up and up and up till the highest points where creativity, real creativity opens up, where you can start realizing that you are here not just as someone that lives 80 years and dies and he did nothing special, maybe made some money if he's lucky, but you have a potential, creative potential. And if you start realizing your creative potential and growing this tree of potential and growing your creativity to higher and higher levels, you will get to deeper levels of fulfillment, right? Most people emotionally live in a place of sadness, of, like, if we take people of 35 years plus, and especially if they go into their 40s, they have a problem of frustration. They didn't realize their potential. They have a lot of emotional traumas, anger, and they run on loops, right? But when you get to a place of creativity and you grow this resource of creativity more and more and more, and you do things and you change the world and you see the smiles of people because you did something good to them, right? That's what brings you fulfillment. That's what brings you a baseline level of happiness, right? Most people say they just want to be happy. Guess what? KEECE framework is the doorway to that. You need to know why you're here. Otherwise, you will be depressed. You need to evolve. You need to be on the path of evolution. Otherwise, you will be decaying and it will create frustration and a lot of pain and suffering in your life. And you need to create. Why? Because you have the creative potential. If you don't grow it, you will get frustrated. And of course, self-expression, which is one of the biggest problems of people today. Because society really closes people. There are certain countries where you cannot self-express because now it's less than before, but some people could go to prison for self-expression, for real, true self-expression. And sometimes it's your family, it's your friends who close you and they don't let you to self-express. Why? Because they might call you weird. And if you are not strong enough and you don't have this inner powerful center in you, you might believe them. And what you do, you close the doors to your self-expression forever, or for 5 or 10 years. And if you realize, after the creative part, if you realize that there is something deep in you that wants to get expressed, and that you really feel good when you are flowing and when you are authentic, and when you are laughing, smiling, and saying what you think, when you're being authentic, or when you dance, just dance. Why? What are you expressing when you dance? You express your soul. You make yourself, you connect. You connect to something bigger than yourself. You remember we talked about creation and we talked about the universe and you as being part of it. How do you think you connect to that? Through self-expression. Because there is a light always burning in you, but sometimes you might close it with your mind, with what you think, with what people think about you. And you are afraid and you are fearful, and every step can be fearful to you. But the antidote to that is self-expression. That's why KEECE framework is what we start from in YNL, because that opens up a bigger picture of why you are here. You are here again to know yourself, to evolve, to create, to self-express. And when you have that, now you have the roadmap, and we can start working. We can start digging more into every area. We can start looking for clues on how to reach the highest levels in each part, how to know yourself and the world better, how to evolve. And that's what YNL and what I'm doing is all about. So let's summarize. And if you follow and you want to be part of the next live streams, there is a homework for you. And the homework is to start asking questions. Start asking yourself the question that we started this conversation from. What is life and what is the function of human in life? Keep asking this for half an hour, maybe 2 hours. Get obsessed with that questions, because if you get that, your journey starts. That's it for today. If you want to be part of my Telegram group, let me know. If you want to have a conversation with me, you can write me on Instagram, and we will keep doing this. I will try to do my best to do it every day, maybe every 2 days, but that's something new that I want to be digging in. I want to share as much knowledge as I can, and I want to connect with other people, with other conscious creators, so together we can change what is happening here and now in this world. So that's it for now. See you tomorrow.